Okay, thank you.
Get this. I don't think they'll come back for anything, but they sort of prepare maybe. But
You got it. Play with it.
yeah.
Or she put the same committee assignments.
Yeah, I remember seeing that, but on my servers, I'm only on okay. No, I got that, but just.
Okay, all right, before we begin, I would just like to let everyone know that this is being recorded and anything that is said can be for at a later date. All yours.
Okay, welcome to Community Board 13 Environmental Sanitation Committee meeting, Wednesday, May 21st. Welcome, or we have quorum, which thank you very much, everybody, and welcome to our guests. I assume all.
We have Natalie Romanoff. Or Russianoff, sorry. Russianoff.
Basically the same thing.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, you're from Beyond Plastics, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Quick thing on this. I guess it wasn't conveyed that somebody also has to zoom into the board meeting to, should there be any questions, so we can vote. I presented it. You don't need to do the presentation again. People can watch the YouTube from the previous meeting, but there were questions asked. I have no idea. So the motion was made to table it, hence we're here today. But basically, I'll ask you the question. When does this have to get the support letter? Because when is it going to be due that you need the support letter to get it through the legislature?
So my dog is barking, so can you give me 1 minute and then I will answer that question? I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I'm just gonna give her some treats.
Okay,
Okay.
you can do that.
For those who were not here, basically they're looking at stopping large amounts of wasteful plastic. Large companies, Amazon, Walmart, whichever. It's not the perfect solution, but something. And you can go back to committee meetings are all on YouTube. Board meetings aren't, but committee meetings are all on YouTube, and look at the presentation. So they're looking for a support letter for the state legislature. This will still come up when I do or Taj does the committee report at the board meeting on the
Next week,
28th.
Yes, next Wednesday.
So should there be questions I haven't asked, they can, presuming the committee once again is in favor of it. And then any of you have questions or anybody else on Zoom have questions of Natalie. How's your dog?
She's good now. Apologies for that delay.
Not a problem.
So to answer the first question about when the vote is happening, for the assembly, the bill is still in committee. So it has to pass 3 committees in the assembly. The first was the environmental committee. The second was the codes committee, which it's passed both of those. And now it is currently in the ways and means committee. Once it passes ways and means, then it can go for a vote on the floor of the assembly. So it's likely the earliest it would get voted on is the first week of June, most likely the second week of June, though. And then
Okay.
And then for the Senate, so it's passed, it had to pass 2 committees. It passed both of them on Wednesday. And now it has to age 3 Senate days. So the earliest that bill can be voted on the Senate is, I believe, Tuesday, the 28th. Is that the 28th? Yes, I think that's the 28th. So
Our meeting is, yeah.
But it most likely won't get voted on until Thursday or the following week.
Okay. So you need the letter now, basically, well, after the full board meets, presuming the full board now agrees,
Yes.
right? Were there any other questions from the committee? Do we have any questions on Zoom for her?
No, I don't have any questions, but I just want to vouch for the plastic nonprofit, because I go on to the Brooklyn Swab, which is the environmental Brooklyn environmental group, and they've already done their endorsement of this issue. So I just want to say it is a very, very good issue to the environmental committee to give their support. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was this committee meeting here. Right. No. This is a letter of support. I have a number that we voted for it. The problem was at the full board meeting, that was the question, when do they need it, that Michael Russo, I think, posted. I don't have an answer. I'm not gonna make up an answer. So the motion to send it back to the committee. There didn't seem to be opposition. Ida made a comment at the full board meeting that we need to do more. 100%, we need to do more.
Mm.
You know, rather glass that you can recycle, presuming they really do recycle glass. Like the waste bins that have two holes and it goes in the same place. We need to do other things, but this was something that can be done.
Mhm.
And it's only there was, in the presentation, they're going after the large vendors to reduce waste, to reduce plastic.
I have a comment, not so much a question, because I think we decided last time already that we're gonna support as a committee, that we're in favor to support the bill. But I just would like to make a suggestion, if it's, could be a part of the bill or considered, I think we discussed it during swap meetings, that a lot of big producers of the plastic bottles,
Mhm.
they have caps that are not attached. So when you open the bottle, you, most of the time, that cap is gonna end up somewhere, especially when it's outside. And it goes in the catch basins, and it goes on the beaches, and it goes to the fish bellies and everything else. And so I just came back from vacation in Iceland, and I saw every bottle there, when you open it, it's still attached.
Hmm.
I even make a picture. It's still attached, you cannot pull it off. So that'd be good if like Snapple or whatever, home about like lemonades or other people,
Or
like what
this,
like
yeah,
this
people, yeah.
bottles, dolls
The
and
twist
stuff.
off, yeah.
Just you twist it off, but you cannot pull it off, so it could be perfectly recycling except of flowing to our water system or sewage system. That was number one, and also the suggestion would be, just in order for you to get that letter and without any problems or any other questions, it would be great if you have somebody present at the general board meeting like you missed last time. So that would be faster for you.
I don't know if it's going to be practical to have somebody,
Yeah.
but you
We have this-
definitely need, Natalie, somebody has to be on Zoom.
Yes.
On Zoom, I
Zoom,
know.
yeah,
on
on Zoom,
Zoom.
yeah, we'll have them on
I-
Zoom.
I am happy to attend either in person or on Zoom.
Zoom,
Well,
Zoom
you're
is-
up in,
They're up in upstate.
yeah, nothing,
Well, I actually live in
Pending.
Prospect Lefferts Garden, so I
Oh,
can
okay.
definitely
You're
come
the
out to Community Board 13.
okay. Well, I don't think, well,
No.
first off, we have a Euler.
Yeah, we have a
whatever.
Euler.
We don't have time for a presentation again,
No.
But the question,
but the
Yeah,
question
okay,
might be.
Yeah, for sure.
If available, it might be good to make a
But-
face. You can get directions and parking in the hospital instructions from Eddie at some point on that.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
And that's a very good, do you know if anything?
That's a very good point. I'm sorry I didn't catch your name.
Lolita,
That's Lolita de LeBeau.
Gotcha.
give it over.
So I wrote down your comment, and I think so. Once PRIA is passed, the next phase will be for companies to make changes to their products. And part of the bill is ensuring that 70% of all products, not just plastic, but paper, aluminum, cardboard, are like 70% at a 70% recycling rate. And so that's a very good suggestion that we can then give to companies to help ensure that those plastic caps aren't getting put into the waste stream or into our environments, but are actually getting to the recycling centers. So I wrote down your comment, and I will make sure that it gets sent to my colleagues and the two legislators who are the sponsors of PREA.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good notes. And I had one on airplane. Okay,
that's
so thank you very much. I move to approve and send it back to the full, in the positive, and send it back to the full board for voting next week.
okay.
I second,
Okay, all right, so just
Roll
roll call, Mark,
yes.
Taj,
Yeah.
Lolita,
Yes.
Maria, and Michael. All right, it's unanimous, and it will go back to the full board for a full vote.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you, Natalie.
thank you, Natalie.
Thank you. I look forward to
can
meeting you
leave
all
if
in
you need
person.
to, and I'll look forward to meeting you
Yes.
on the, at the full board.
Yeah. All right.
You're welcome to stick around and listen. But
Composting.
if you have to take care of dog and or
I do have to
non-furry
do
babies, whatever.
do have to do
Whichever
some
it comes.
tasks, but I hope you have a lovely evening, and thank you for all of the time you spent on this. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have, what do we want to do? Do we have
Composting.
our presentation or
Yeah, presentation, because,
is
Troy couldn't make it because he had another meeting, but, he mentioned that someone from sanitation might have a little bit more information about the info.
Well,
as
then
of
I have a
22nd.
note to add.
Okay, so,
Whoever's from sanitation.
sanitation is here. Marissa,
Hi, do you have a PowerPoint or?
No, I was just talking.
oh, okay.
Okay, good. That's quite all right. Okay, introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Marissa Yanni. I am a community affairs liaison with the Department of Sanitation and the Bureau of Community Affairs. I'm here to chat today a little bit about composting, essentially just going to give more of an overview and then answer, and we can chat the committee meetings a little bit more intimate than a general board meeting, if that's okay with everybody.
Yes.
So since actually, Brooklyn has had a compost collection for a very long time, for about 2 years now. But starting back on April 1st, it was considered mandatory. So composting is mandatory for every single New York City resident, regardless of the type of building you live in. So everyone must separate their food scraps and yard waste from their trash. Non-negotiable, you gotta do it. There was some chatting and some information going around about the summonses. So we can still issue a fine, you can still receive a summons, but we're focusing more on education and outreach, specifically for 1 to 4 family homes. 1 to 9 family, the smaller buildings. If you live in a high-rise building, we want to focus on those as far as like summonses and kind of chatting with them more, because they're a lot of them weren't doing it like at all. So that was awesome. So when it comes to your compost, there's many different ways that you can do that. Let's say you live in a 1-family home, but let's just say for now, you can use our brown compost bin, totally fine. Make sure all the compost material goes in a clear bag. Do not put raw food scraps in your compost bin. That's gross. Please don't do that. Please use a plastic liner. We really appreciate that in some way, shape, or form. At my home, I have 15 little bags in there. And you could use, grocery store bags, the ones you get the produce in. Save those. Sandwich bags, you can use those. That's not a problem. Whatever bags you can use, put that material in there. Put it in your bin. If you don't have one of the brown bins, that's totally fine. You can use any bin you want that has a lid and is under 55 gallons. And as long as it has a label on it. I see that the board has some here. I brought some more. Feel free to take some. It also tells you what you can compost. So it kind of is the best of both worlds. And that would do today. As long as the bin is labeled, that's all that we ask for, essentially.
I do got compost at home.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Great.
But I don't believe my building does that.
They have to.
Yeah, so you're okay. It's not your fault.
No.
You're wrong. They are correct.
I will also say curbside composting is not mandatory, composting is mandatory. So there might be, and again, if you're in a large building, that's not your fault, you're just, you're a resident, you're a tenant, you don't own the property, that's fine. But let's say again, you're in like a 1 family, 2 family home, it's okay, just because you don't put out a brown bin, doesn't mean you're not composting. Cause one, you could literally just be eating all your food, that's totally fine. A lot of people compost themselves, like in their backyards, they'll put the material in, I don't know what the process. It's sometimes fucking stupid. And it gets turned around,
Yeah.
that is their business, however that works. Or you can bring it to a food scrap drop off site. So just because there's no compost bin outside your home, that doesn't mean that you're violating the law. So don't think of it that way, when you're putting it out. Cause you just, everyone could be doing it different ways. But large buildings, yes, they're incorrect.
I have to check. Too, but I'm gonna go
Are you? You've been lying to me
Right.
this whole time.
Brown bin.
Let's blame the guy. It's always blame the guy.
Start with compost and move on to other sanitation issues, but I feel like it's better once I start answering questions than.
I have a question about the composting. So the thing is, our home composting in the dining room.
Oh, okay. That's fantastic. Good, well, I got one person that does it.
Okay,
Big up today.
Rita, any questions?
No.
Okay,
Okay, go.
I have, okay, I just want to make sure I'm in a 2 family.
Okay.
I use the little bags that I bought, peaches or
Yeah,
whatever.
those are perfect.
I put them in the freezer. I kind of feel when it's enough, I take it downstairs and just put that. I don't line the whole
That's fine.
bin, but those clear,
Yeah, you have multiple little bags in the bin.
yeah,
That's fine, that's what I do.
flower cuttings and.
Yeah. All of yard waste is included in that.
And they also say pizza boxes too now?
If they're very soiled,
Yeah.
so that's the only difference. So if it's not super soiled, you ate the pizza pretty quickly, or it got cold when it got to you anyway, so it didn't matter. Then that box can go with your paper recycling. If it's very oily and blech, then fold that up, because it's cardboard, it's paper, it's trees, it could go in the compost bin, then you can put it in there. I will say they're kind of big, so
Yeah,
unless it
that's
might not
why.
fit necessarily in the compost
Breaks the
bin.
bag.
Right, you're gonna have to break it down another 20 times, it's up to you how you feel. But it would have to be very soiled for you to do it that way. But yes, it is allowed. You kind of have two options.
Yeah,
Let somebody else ask a
So
question.
my question is, when we compost and use the plastic bag, does that defeat the purpose of composting?
That's fair. No, because we rip open the bag into the machine, and then we throw away the plastic.
Okay, good. Yeah, I felt bad, it's like, I'm throwing things.
Fair point, yeah. But
Okay.
yes, the machine opens it up. There is no plastic going into into the material. I'm okay.
So
I know.
so the grocery bag that we use that are not see-through, they're like blue bags or brown bags or black bag. You can't see inside and you put it in the compost bin. Okay,
You want me?
yes. No bags, okay. No, okay. 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 It's possible. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those are great. Those
Okay,
are
can you-
expensive and they don't
Yes.
actually break down.
Oh.
That's very open.
Yeah, so I would say if you can find a cheaper option, go with the cheaper option. Take as many bags as you can from the grocery store.
Use that, okay.
One,
I won't
one,
lie, that's what I.
one
Bag for every line.
yes.
They don't need it. Take the whole roll.
Just a quick question, for the high-rise building, it's more like an honor system. Because you cannot figure out which resident did what, when they throw the bag, so really, it's very difficult for the management of the big buildings which have like 2,000 people
Yeah.
to force everybody to do it. Or you want everybody like to have a person who will be sitting and weekly to each bag and separated. It's almost a next to impossible task.
I agree that it is very difficult. I represent.
It's very labor costly.
Oh, yeah.
That is true. They're only paid, you know, you're gonna leave work when it's time to leave work. They pay you for the overtime for separating out the garbage. I also represent Manhattan, so I do get this question a lot, especially down here. See how many big buildings you all have? Yes, it is on the honor system. It's about trying as hard as we all can, and we're hoping the more you ram it down someone's throat, they will start to listen. But you are correct. I think it is a bit of a burden on the property managers and the custodial staff and the maintenance staff. It definitely is. Don't expect anyone to separate the garbage and weed through it. I think that's not realistic. You're not gonna ask anyone to do that. But as long as a few people are doing it and we have like somewhat of a pure a bin of compost, I think we're
Understood.
getting more in the right direction. But yes, I understand that.
Okay,
Okay, do we have any
yes.
questions on?
Jeff, is Jeff?
Yes, hi. This is an excellent program. Like I said before, I'm a member of the Brooklyn SWAB, which stands for, and I neglected to say, the Solid Waste Advisory Board. And can you give us just a little description of how this saves the landfills from getting more construction work and things like that into it?
Oh, well, I mean, diverting your compost material makes up a third of the waste stream, right? Third of your garbage. So the more we take away, the less we're putting in landfills in other states, which is a huge help. And then because we're taking over this compost and either bringing it to Newtown Creek for the waste treatment center, or we're bringing it to Fresh Hills and Staten Island, we're then giving back a lot of that compost. So like the food scraps in yard waste is becoming the compost soil. And we do that and give back a lot of elected officials are doing that. We give it to parks, we give it to schools. There's like a weekly give backs in Staten Island and also in Brooklyn and Greenpoint. So we're giving away a lot because of how much we've taken already from Brooklyn, for sure. You all have been doing it the second longest right after Queens. So it's great for that. And the less we put in landfills, the better. And again, it's for another state. The other states are smelling.
Thank you, and it also saves the city a lot of money in the transfer of the
Oh, yeah,
garbage.
right, we'll contract that out, right, if they're gonna leave our transfer stations, that's another company, we don't own barges.
Right. Thank you very much.
Anybody else on Zoom? Okay, well then I'll go again. I have a question. Intro 1126. That was passed. That's that sanitation's gonna pay,
Oh, the STAR program. one.
Yes.
Okay.
well, there's other.
Oh, okay.
That's
Sorry for
what the law was. And the law did its normal. Mayor has 30 days to sign. Can he get it? He's busy electing, thinks he's getting elected, never mind. So it wasn't the photo op. So like most bills, he just waits the 30 days, it's now law. So what's the
next
have a
step?
timeline? Do you have any for the, like, Brighton, for example, is the naturally occurring retirement. There's a lot of my neighbors, whatever, so 3 times
Oh, 50.
$50
Yeah.
is a lot.
Yes.
And so this was, I mean, I don't have Star, but a lot of people have Star and other, so whatever the requirement.
Yes.
Okay, so do you have any clue or any contact or? It was passed a couple of days ago, I wanted to check.
That's how,
I know.
so, no, at the moment, my team and all communication talking points have not been giving anything about this intro, about this program. I believe the last I heard, August 1st, I think we have until this goes into effect.
Yes. So,
Of that, so I haven't been told anything about the reimbursement. I have not been told how you check, you know, who gets it for free, you know, how do we check that you're on the list for STAR or what have you, that you're enrolled in the program. So I apologize, I do not have any info on that, we just have not been given any directive at the moment.
Your team.
Right, but we're the public facing team of DSM-1.
And while you're getting the question.
Not like I'm gonna reach into my back pocket,
No.
but, you know, like, I don't know who else has that answer.
You know, that you often people come and say, okay, it's not our team, but here's the team it is.
It would be our team that would.
No, also,
Okay. All right.
It's for homeowners. My dad has Star. It's for homeowners. Thank you.
A school age child,
Mhm.
it's a rebate.
What's that?
To be a homeowner.
Um,
Thought so, maybe I'm wrong.
wait,
Home co-op.
Okay. I didn't know about it beforehand.
Sorry.
What happened?
Or condo.
Or condo.
Once you reach a point that your kids are out. And whatever, you've still been paying the school tax.
mm,
I usually support it.
Or not, that's the principle. So is that, I only read part of the bill. I was hoping our,
go ahead, we've been-
my council person,
Mhm.
her legislative director was supposed to be on the
Okay.
call. To also ask, but I had talked to Troy and I said, I'll ask the question. So I'll. That's okay, Barbara.
Oh,
Is, types of property that are eligible, houses, condos, co-ops, or farmhouses in Chester County. And it says the property must be the primary residence of the owner. The owner must be, for basic star, there's no age. For enhanced star, 65 or older. Okay, income, for enhanced, $107,300 or less, the income. Income limit applies to the combined incomes of all owners and any owner's spouse who resides at the property.
This is for Star,
For
right?
enhanced star.
Hand Star.
Not basic. Basic, I think it's $500,000.
No, it says, well, yeah, 500,000
Yep,
for the star credit.
we get credit, yeah.
Combined.
Yeah, okay.
Like to be me, but it ain't.
They need a rebate.
Lolita.
Mhm.
But.
Yeah.
I'm a little less. Yes, I think it's but I was wanted to return also back to composting, curbside composting. At some point, there was a program with the curbside composting that provided the composting bag together with a storage for the 3 feet. Yeah, it's from free care program.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's still running. I think it was closed during the COVID time. That'd be good to return back.
The Sanitation Foundation does some street care and tree care, I'm sorry, that's the word, like events.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're like whoever they're partnering with may get some of that compost, like the little 1 bags.
Yeah,
We also have like the bigger 40-pound bags that you can go pick up like yourself at Greenpoint or at Fresh Hills. But no, I don't have any update on that, because I tell you, my team hasn't been working on anything like that, and so don't think we're doing that.
Mhm. I know it was a program, but then it was closed. That's why when it was reopened, the composting stuff, I was wondering if that
Yeah.
will be reopened.
We are giving it out. I don't know if that program specifically is coming back online.
Okay, understood.
Right. In that vein, used to pick up leaves.
Yeah,
And I thought those actually made their way to the parks department or something, not.
no, when we picked it up,
Yeah,
no.
because the resulting compost, we had somebody from parks bringing these 1-pound bags of this.
Or maybe
and they-
years ago. It's just.
Well, yeah,
Yard all yard waste can be put curbside in either a big clear plastic bag or in one of the paper leaf bags. Every week, every day, your compost will lunch.
I'm not ready for the leaves yet, but it will be.
Yard waste.
Yeah, it is. Okay. All right, so, don't have. Or, any other questions? Yes,
How much are the fines for the high rises? If high rises, get inspected and then they get ticketed, what are the fines for them? Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. That's okay.
Because for a regular. It's supposed to be like 25, 50, 100. So I think for high rise, like 30 or more units, it might be more than that. It might be like. Either 50, 150, or 100, 200, 300. Because I know it is the 100, 200, like 300 for businesses for something else. So I have 3 different enforcement numbers in my head. But it's not, I don't think it's $25, like it would be for a chip band and one thing. It'll be more than that.
Off the question with sanitation on composting, how is a pickup with the commercial individual bins picked up after hours? Is it doing well or not? Where they have to have containers, commercial what do you call it? Storefronts. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, container, yes. Yeah.
It seems to.
Okay.
Seen a lot of complaints about that lately. So I'm hoping everybody's just doing their thing, or I'm hoping no. Following the law. We have a team, the Bureau of Commercial Waste. They might have more information on like how it's going, but from personally, what I get from community members and residents, I haven't heard many complaints about that.
Okay.
That businesses aren't following them.
question on the bins, the new bins. They're really designed for the automated dumping. Which I don't, are we, that the next capital round in 2076, and what's
No,
what's
so
our,
supposed to use those new NYC bins by June 1st, 2026. Then in 2026, we're gonna start using the tow trucks.
The arm, right? Is that where they hook up?
yeah, that's the
To the back of the
metal
truck.
part.
Now, I know with parking is a situation where you can't fit the bin between 2 cars. How do you go and proceed with that? Because if there's, let's say, 10 cars that are parked next to each other and you're in the middle and you can't get to the front of the street, does sanitation bring the canister back to the property owner? Right, yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Can take the bags out of the bin at the moment, right? Because you don't have to use that new mechanism. So that is one thing a lot of stuff are. Pulling out all the bags, throwing it over, bringing it over, and then throwing it into the truck. But yes, cars park very tight,
Yeah.
so that will be a problem when you have to use the truck.
My next door neighbor will have loose stuff in the trash. And then last thing in the morning, if they haven't been up yet, she'll put one white kitchen mat. Sanitation comes, they take that out, and then the can is still 3/4 full. And there's a driveway, so it's not like you can't do it.
Okay.
And I don't know that specifics,
If material isn't collected, next day definitely call 311 for miscollection. That way we go and grab it, and that way any of the property owners on your block, any of your neighbors don't receive a fine. Because if somebody's walking down the block to supervise them, they're like, oh, you've been out the wrong day. You don't want anyone to get it.
It's not doesn't stay. Usually,
Oh,
she'll
good.
take it in or I'll
She'll just
take
bring it back in.
and just.
Okay, I just, definitely to make that 311 call, that's why it's, let us know that we missed it. It could have just been truly human error.
Good question. All these composting will affect the buildings that has containerization. Like, these big trucks are coming, they're containers and bringing the fresh containers. I check housing those and
Oh, like the Roro.
yes.
Yeah, oh,
And
yeah.
I think that 300, I think really for
Like I said, right?
yes,
Sure.
all the composting has to be done for this. Is it separate? Is it have to be a separate container for that or what? This is a new program.
You know what's funny? It's not come up yet. Well, I'm not saying no one else thought of it.
Yeah, just,
No, I'm not the whole department, no, please don't say that, and Marissa Yank, that's a possibility. So if a building is large enough and they have a giant container, right, because they have the compactor or whatnot. Right, I just know of.
compare.
Do you have a Roro or do you ever use that? They take it and bring it back? Okay, so you have a Roro. Okay, so everything's gonna be in that, which technically. You'll have little bins for the compost, so that we'll have to check it, I'll have to check it with my colleagues on that.
Especially.
Yeah.
Sanitation department, I find would be huge, there's no way I'm paying my guys.
Yep.
To climb through everybody else's garbage without hazmat suits,
Sure, that's right.
and then we have to deal with the union. So we're going to get a brown painted bin parked next to our regular garbage containers and start putting it there. Because right now we're still in the winter. So people bring their compostable items down to the back lobbies. And as we tell them to do, in the summer, it's going to be hell. And there's gonna be bugs, and there's gonna be vermin, and there's gonna be all sorts of it. So we need to be able to get it out of the book. Often,
What do you do now with the trash? It always goes right out of the building?
trash, yeah,
Okay,
It goes in the container.
right, but it's a different giant, yeah, okay.
Alright, we have a question with Fanya. Fanya, will you unmute?
Hi, excuse me. We're talking about garbage disposal by people who live in the buildings or commercial establishments. What about these bags of garbage that just laying on the street? I've seen on every corner. I live on Coney Island and Brighton Beach Avenue, Coney Island Avenue, Brighton Beach Avenue. And I walk down the street over the Ocean Parkway. And almost on every second corner, there is maybe 10, 15 garbage bags that people just bring. Nobody knows what they are, who separates, who does not separate. And I don't know how these bags are collected. But every day I've seen those bags. What does the bill talks about it, or what the sanitation department is doing about this? Because those bags are apparently those garbage are not separated from like food garbage and then some kind of papers and everything.
Right, so that would just be, those are in black bags on the corners, is it next to our DSMR bins?
What?
Yes, it's next to the corner bin. Okay.
Yeah.
Most of those are supposed to be in gray bags. The Brighton Bid, Elena Mackin's group, pays to sweep the streets to clean up and collect and puts it there. And those corner bins have a 7-day collection. Not unlike most places, those get collected. they get collected at 7 o'clock in the morning or so. And then the workers, I've seen when I'm out at that hour and they're collecting the trash that's left around. That's one of the things that the Brighton Beach bid is paying.
Yeah.
That's one of their things. They're paying
Supplemental
for
sanitation.
the
Yeah,
private
Private.
collect it, and they have bags, and then it's put at the corner. That's the arrangement with,
yeah,
although they're trying to get them to get a building and a lot.
yeah. Oh, even
Collected,
worse.
which would make it impossible price wise. But, so that's where those are coming from. And
And-
also coming from either improper disposal or illegal dumping, and that's a legal definition of whether you're using a car or not, kind of thing. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's illegal dumping. I've actually seen cars, but it doesn't matter if I've seen it. There's got to be an official DSNY camera that
Yeah.
somebody pays for, like our council people, to film them, and then they can go after these people, seize the car, fine them, I think 7,000 current fine for that, for doing that. But those camera systems are 25 grand, presuming you can get it. So your councilman, you have to be nice to your council person, which if you're
Yeah.
Brighton, that corner, that would be Vernicroft, 47, would have to sponsor those.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly who or what they're sponsoring. So that's where most of that is coming from, is they pay. You'll also see a guy with a big Rubbermaid tub on wheels, sweeping and picking stuff up, going up and down Brighton Beach Avenue. That's what the Brighton bid, among the things Brighton bid pays for. So that's where some of that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Basically, this has been brought to our office as a chronic problem. Elena from the Brighton Beach bid has notified us daily. You know, certain parts like Brighton 6th Park, Brighton 7th Street on Brighton Beach Avenue, where residential garbage, and they know because it's not the store. The store has their own containers, and it's just they do it because no one catches them, and it's all hours of the day. So it's not like only at 7 o'clock in the morning. No, is that
picked up.
yep, it was picked up at 7. So by the time it's 9 o'clock, it's filled already with other people's garbage. So we are aware of it. I don't know if this would be under something with the Q team. Right now, the 60th precinct has a quality of life team that addresses quality of life issues. So they could do a partnership with the sanitation where they can patrol it and see what happens about. But with these type of problems, Fanya, is to report this on 311. Only because the more times it gets attention, the more times the 60th precinct will address it. They said they would look at it seriously if it's been called in at least 5 times at the same location. So if you see something that you know that's happening, every day, tell your friends to call at that same time. Guess what? They'll look at it. They'll get sanitation, do an interagency sweep, and see what happens from there. And they will answer it. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay.
We have minis up.
Minnie, please turn on your camera. So we don't
No.
Yeah, hi. My question is sanitation enforcement. How often do they come to Brighton Beach Avenue? We have like a lot of vendors also have their wares out on the street, and it also contributes to a lot of pollution and garbage on the street. So can we find out if there's a schedule that sanitation enforcement comes, and could you tell me more information about that? Thank you.
So that is a small team for the vendor enforcement that it specifically do that. I do not have the schedule for you. It's not necessarily a schedule. It's whenever hotspots are kind of brought to our attention. Something tells me they know about Brighton Beach Avenue, that I should bring that up.
Just as a follow-up, I think last election there was an amendment to the city charter by the sanitation department. I'm wondering, do you know if they've gotten additional funding because that act was passed?
No, because the budget isn't due yet. I don't know what new funding we're gonna get. I'll
Okay,
find out July 1st.
all right, thank you.
Yeah,
I mean, if it was,
yeah,
when the Q team,
yes,
like, it's on their
60%.
Twitter, whatever it's called now.
Or
They
Facebook.
had, one of their first
Yeah,
was an interagency sweep
Yep.
of Brighton
Right,
Beach Avenue
yes.
for illegal vendors, for the crap they leave over.
So the more times you call in, the
But
more
yes, and
times they
that's what
will
driven.
address it.
Driven
It's
by
311 driven, and
311.
call us to let us know that you reported it with the complaint number. Okay, so that we know that there's more eyes than just ourselves looking at it. Okay,
Okay, did we lose her?
no, that's good.
Okay,
You know,
I have another question. About 10 years ago, they passed this thing where you put a sign, I don't want the flyers.
solicitations,
And
yeah,
they,
yeah.
and I went through, I made a template for an affidavit, I'd include the pictures and send it as a registered mail. And every time I get back we don't care. Or I send in a menu, we're unable to figure out where this is from. Excuse me?
The
If they
address.
can't figure out where it's come, what good is a
Menu.
restaurant menu? And I got 3 other neighbors or so to kind of do the same, whatever. Did that sunset or,
That was through sanitation.
yeah,
I don't know, that was 10 years ago, I wasn't working.
okay. All right,
Last I checked, no, illegal postering, yes, you could put that on 311 if you're
Oh.
postering on a city property.
Oh, yeah.
On your
post.
personal property, that I'm not sure.
No,
I've never
there's
received
other
that.
ways to handle-
Okay.
There's other ways to handle that,
I've received,
and it's being recorded on that thing.
is that what you're talking, you're only talking about your personal property.
Yeah. I'm talking
Right,
about the-
I only know
the
about,
venues that they-
right, that they put on your gate.
It's a template for an official size of, what point typeface and had a bunch of them laminated, please no flyers. Now it's just a matter of if I happen to be on my porch having coffee in the morning and whichever abused immigrant is working for way less than he should be paid, checking out the flyer. I've yelled at him enough, he doesn't put it in, but the next one does. I don't remember the exact. Okay,
So,
more than 5 years ago, I gave up. That's it. All right,
so,
and I just have to, take the stuff out of the bag, put the paper in the paper recycle bag in the box. It's just tiring.
yeah,
if you have-
Okay,
I have a question. With regard to the bins,
Which bins, everything's a bin.
all the bins.
Okay, all the bins.
New trash bin,
Okay,
cycle bin, cardboard bin that they have. So that private homeowners buy. In the event that those bins are stolen, what is the recourse? What action can be taken?
you want to tell us, please?
oh,
Police report. There's no way to track these things.
No.
No way, so
No.
outside of you putting your dress on it.
yeah, that's it. It's free fall.
I have an
And what?
So then you can-
I'm there.
Air tag it. Sure.
Right.
So once the police
We don't have
report
any
is
other
done,
vote.
then the city will revert or.
Didn't want to move forward.
We are doing that.
So it wouldn't be sanitation reimbursing you, like I wouldn't touch this issue, you know what I mean, like you would do NYPD. Then if they find it, I guess, or however it works out, then you can get the reimbursement. If you follow whatever other steps there are that are part of it.
No, there's no vote.
Yeah, man, okay, all right,
Okay.
let's see.
Any other questions?
One other question.
Any questions on?
Um,
No.
I know that the other question that everyone's been calling about is getting no dog dumping on the property. Is there anything that sanitation can put up or help out with canine droppings? Dog waste. Oh. But do you have any official poster or PSA or something like that? We'll take it. I mean, it's just so that we can give it to people so they can put in their windows and say, please don't, do it on my property. Or is it illegal? Now, what are the prices or the fines if they get caught? Does it, right? Okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, another time, yeah. Sure, and then we could put it out to our public because a lot of them wants to know what's happening. Okay,
Okay,
that's it.
any other questions for our
Hey.
guest? Okay, that takes care of that. Any unfinished business? Oh, I think probably-
No, that's okay.
Any new business?
No.
Okay. I move to adjourn the meeting.
All right, second. Who's second? You got it. Maria seconds. All right.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone online. Yes, that's right. Memorial Day weekend.